Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Predicts AEW WrestleDream 2023, taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. on Bleacher Report Fight pay-per-view and YouTube. And then you've got 0 Hour taking place at 7 o'clock tonight, Bleacher Report Fight YouTube, as well as pay-per-view. And, yesterday, on yesterday's show, I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be live today. I am live right now. So if you're listening or watching, thank you very much. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Well, let me say this. I was going to not go live because of a family event, and the family event's happening later on today. So it's, but with going live, it means I got some bad news, sports related, by the way, right before the show went on the air. So you want to talk about WrestleDream tonight with the, regards to the 1 year anniversary of the passing of the one and only Antonio Inoki. And all of a sudden, right at pretty much 5 minutes before I go on the air, my wife tells me about something, and I go and read it. And this is courtesy ESPN.com. Former Red Sox knuckleballer Tim Wakefield dies of brain cancer at the age of 57 years old. Obviously, huge news to me as a Red Sox fan, like hardcore Red Sox fan. Wasn't planning on starting the show like this, but it's interesting because I was talking about Gord Downey yesterday, and he ended up dying of brain cancer as well. And then today I hear the news Tim Wakefield died of brain cancer, 57 years old. With regards to Wakefield, 2004, obviously huge part of the championship run after 86 years. Red Sox finally win the World Series. Personal note, huge Red Sox fan, huge Patriots fan, of course. But when I went down to Fenway Park in 1994, and yes, a long time ago, I went down there to watch a 3-game series, which ended up being like a 3.5-game series because there was a doubleheader going on the day that we got down there, and it was the Boston Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays, and the Boston Red Sox. And I went down there a Toronto Blue Jays fan. This is 1994, so right after the Jays had won the World Series. Obviously Joe Carter hitting that massive home run. I went down and spent I think 4 or 5 days down in Boston. And, went down as a Jays fan, came back as a Red Sox fan. And there is video someplace of my locker in high school. Took a video on my last day. And there's a poster of Otis Nixon that I got down at Fenway that was in my locker the whole entire year. But, I became a Red Sox fan in 1994. 10 years later, they go on to win the World Series. Absolutely phenomenal. But, sad news today. ESPN announced that 241. It's currently 303. So, like I said, literally right before I went on the air, it's, hear about Tim Wakefield. So thoughts, prayers, and strength are with him, his family, and the Boston Red Sox organization, obviously. Not the way I want to start the show. If I wasn't doing this live, then, I could I'd probably be going through my Red Sox collection and all that sort of stuff right now. But 57 years old, 10 years older than me. So hug your loved ones, guys, and, enjoy your families and your friends, and enjoy life, because it's, you never know. But thoughts and prayers and strength with the Red Sox. And like I said, Tim Wakefield's family, friends, and fans, and maybe one of his fans, of course. So, guys, this is the AEW WrestleDream prediction show. It's again sad news, but the 1 year anniversary of the passing of Antonio Inoki. With regards to Inoki, he ended up passing away at the age of 79 years old in Tokyo, Japan. Huge reason, a big wrestling fan is because of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I say that, and one of the first things I ever got to do as far as writing goes was writing for PW Torch, and I got to do this thing called the New Japan Pro Wrestling Weekly Overview. And that was a cool thing. I did it for, I think, 13 articles, whatever the case may be, over a span of a couple months. Wade Keller gave me the opportunity, so thank you very much to him. But doing that, it was amazing because it was, I get to write about New Japan Pro Wrestling, and you learn about the names, everything else that went along with it, alongside the history as well. And, so the AEW Tony Khan honoring, the 1 year passing Antonio Inoki with WrestleDream tonight is going to be, it's huge. It's phenomenal. And, props to Tony Khan, AEW, for doing what they're doing. And I was going to do this at the end of the show, but I'll do it now. One of my oldest wrestling magazines I have is right here, guys. And if you can see that, I'm going to put it closer to the camera here. It's hard to kind of do backwards. Where is it? Oh, I'm doing the wrong side. Forget about the glare, but that is Antonio Inoki on one of the oldest wrestling magazines I have in my collection. That is from December 1974. Magazine is older than me, so 49 years old as far as that magazine goes, but that is Inoki on the cover of that, so I thought that was pretty cool. But guys, let's get into the show. So WrestleDream taking place tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Like I said, Bleacher Report Fight pay-per-view and YouTube, and the 0 hour taking place at 7 o'clock tonight. Climate Pledge Arena, Seattle, Washington. This event is going to be huge. So it kind of reminds me of Forbidden Door. I was there live, and just the amount of matches taking place. This, I think, is going to go past midnight. I remember I was at Scotiabank Arena, and it was like 12:20-ish, I think, in the morning when the event finally ended, and Bryan Danielson's doing his thing, on the mic to the fans there. I've got video of it. Obviously, I'd get booted off of YouTube, but I'll leave that for another day. But 14 matches taking place tonight, guys. So I will go through my thoughts, predictions, and the 14 matches. 4 free matches. So you got 1 hour called 0 hour. It's going to feature 4 free matches for everybody there. So singles match, Josh Barnett taking on Claudio Castagnoli. Former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, by the way. Castagnoli, I didn't even know about this match until this morning, had come out Collision and, open challenge, and Josh Barnett was the one who answered that open challenge. I would have rather seen Filthy Tom Lawler because of what happened with regards to Adam Cole getting sick, not being a part of Forbidden Door, and Lawler not really being, he was still on the show. I think he's dark match on that show, but he didn't get his pay-per-view, highlights, so to speak. So it would have been cool to see Tom Lawler and Claudio go at it, but Josh Barnett instead. And, it's going to be interesting because 2 basic beasts as far as hardcore hitting style goes. Castagnoli doesn't hold back as far as, his matches go. Neither does Barnett. And, so it's going to be a huge battle between the two of them tonight. I'm going to say Claudio Castagnoli for the win because former, like I said, ROH champion, as well as the fact that Blackpool Combat Club is just on fire right now. So Castagnoli for the win in that one there. Next match, Luchasaurus taking on Nick Wayne. It's going to be interesting because of the fact you've got Luchasaurus on the same side of Christian Cage, the TNT Championship, the way that that's gone down, the fact that they're in Seattle, the hometown, so to speak, of Nick Wayne, as well as Darby Allin. So it's going to be interesting because of the fact, how is Luchasaurus going to be a factor in this event? I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say this. I'm going to say Luchasaurus loses tonight, which is going to set up the friction between him and Christian Cage later on in the show, which I'll get to. So I'm going to say Nick Wayne in his hometown, Seattle, takes the win tonight. Match number 3, mixed 4-on-4 tag team match. This is 0 hour as well. Diamante, Lee Moriarty. If I slow down, I can pronounce that properly. Mercedes Martinez and Shane Taylor. Love Mercedes Martinez, by the way. She's just a beast in the ring, by the way. Real sweetheart outside the ring, but beast inside the ring. Taking on ROH Women's Champion Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima, and the New Japan element right there. It's interesting because you got the ROH Women's World Champion on one side, but the other side, you've got Diamante as well as Mercedes Martinez. Shane Taylor, I'm a huge fan of as well. I wish they would let him give him the ROH World title and see what happens, see where it goes. It's way back in the days of the original ROH. But that being said, maybe they give the win to Kojima, especially with Keith Lee on the side. So looking at this, I'd love to see Mercedes Martinez win that championship back, beat Athena tonight, but I don't think it's happening. So I'm going to say either Keith Lee or Kojima get the victory. I'm going to say not over Shane Taylor. I'm going to say over Lee Moriarty. And I'm going to say, so Billy Starks, Athena, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima for the win there. Last match as far as 0 hour goes, guys, AEW World Trios Championship match. The Acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster with Daddy Ass as champions, taking on TMDK, Shane Haste, Mikey Nichols, as well as, I love this name, Bad Dude Tito. If I was going to be a wrestler, that'd be like one of the coolest names in the world is Bad Dude Tito. So that being said, I can't see TMDK losing because I don't know what happens after this event tonight with regards to New Japan Pro Wrestling and AEW. So with the hype and, the fact is everybody loves the Acclaimed. Everybody loves seeing the Acclaimed have gold, so to speak, pink gold in this case. But I'm going to say the Acclaimed for the win in this one here. Guys, then we go into the main card. 10 matches on the main card starting at 8 o'clock tonight. It's going to be huge. Like I said, this show, I'm easily going to go past midnight, I believe. So you're going to have over 5 hours of wrestling taking place tonight. And the event last night was cool as well. I'll get more into that sometime this week with regards to the throwdown. But like I said, 10 huge matches taking place, singles matches taking place. Absolute Ricky Starks taking on Wheeler Yuta. Obviously the heat here is with regards to Bryan Danielson, his feud with Absolute Ricky Starks, and then Yuta basically kind of protecting, being upset still. So I'm going to say this because of the role that they've been on, Ricky Starks for the win in that one there. Next match, and this could be the match of the night, guys. Hangman Adam Page, ROH World Six-Man Champion, alongside the Young Bucks there. Going solo singles match tonight against the one and only Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana. So are we going to see Paige get beat? Are we going to see Nana dance? I guarantee one of those is going to happen. But, if I'm fantasy booking, I love Hangman Page and the Young Bucks and everything that's got going on there. But Swerve Strickland, to me, has that potential to be main event star, has the potential to be main event champion, whether it be the TNT champion or whether or not it be the World Championship or, ROH, whatever the case may be. But let him go with the title, give him the ball, so to speak. So that being said, the back and forth has been great between the two of these guys. And like I said, I think tonight we see Prince Nana dance. Maybe once, maybe more than once, and the fans get into that. It's a cool thing to see as far as a wrestling fan goes. But I'm going to say Strickland for the win in this one here. So I'm going to say Strickland beats Adam Page. Trios match, Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. And that was interesting to see last night. Collision, the arms raised of Omega as well as Jericho. With that being said, it's interesting because of the fact is I never thought I'd see these two guys on the same side. Obviously, there's a reason for it, and the reason is the Don Callis family and Don Callis, the Weasel himself. That reference to Bobby Heenan. He does a great job of making you hate him. I tell you that much. So Jericho and the Golden Elite taking on the Don Callis family, which includes Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay, love Will Ospreay, the current IWGP UK, US, whatever you want to call it, heavyweight champion. And then the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita. Yeah, I don't know if I pronounced that right. If I slow down, I can bang on 100%. But yeah, it's going to be interesting here because the X Factor, I shouldn't say the X Factor, but love Omega, love Jericho. Ibushi is not the same Ibushi he used to be. I love where they're going with Takeshita. Love Will Ospreay was there for that match between him and Kenny Omega, which is absolutely phenomenal. To see these guys in the same ring against cool. And then you got Sammy Guevara. And how far do they push Sammy Guevara with regards to this group? That being said, Omega doesn't need to win. Ibushi doesn't need to win. And neither does Jericho, really. If you want to continue this feud, if you want to give Jericho, Don Callis something to do, by the way, have this last all the way going into full gear, so to speak. So that being said, make them look strong. You don't necessarily have to have Takeshita beat Kenny Omega again. I'm not sure how the finish is going to take place, but either give the win to Takeshita. Guevara doesn't need it right now. Give the win to Ospreay, but I'm going to say yes. The Don Callis family takes it tonight. Takeshita, Guevara, Ospreay for the win there. Next match. Catch my breath. Four-way tag team match. Winner gets a future AEW World Tag Team Championship match anytime. So you got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, former champs, the Guns, former champs, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, the Lucha Brothers, former champs, Ray Phoenix and Penta El Zero Muerto. Ray Phoenix, of course, international champion. Alex Abrahante is going to be there with them as well. And then you got Orange Cassidy and Hook. And Orange Cassidy, phenomenal international champion. Hook is going to be great. Do you give the win to these guys? I can't see it happening. The Young Bucks don't need it either. The Guns, the Lucha Brothers. Lucha Brothers, like I said, Ray Phoenix he's got the international championship as a singles guy. They've already been champions. So that being said, Orange Cassidy and Hook or the Guns? I'd like to see the Guns prove themselves in this match, considering the fact they have an alliance with Juice Robinson as well as Jay White. And if you watched Dynamite this past Wednesday and you saw that promo between MJF and Jay White, the Golden, I was going to say the Golden Elite, Bullet Club Gold. And you know what? Give them gold, because potentially we could see Jay White as AEW World Champion, which would be cool. But I'm going to say give the Guns the win in this one here. So Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn for the win is my pick here. Next match, dream match, the submissions in Seattle, I think they're calling it. So the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, taking on Zack Sabre Jr., who is the current New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion. Title not in the line in this one. So basically just Pride versus Pride, two of the best technical submission wrestlers in the world. And, it's a dream match, of course. Yes, definitely a dream match. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Danielson, because he beat Okada, I'm going to say loses to ZSJ. I'm going to say he puts Zack Sabre Jr. over in this match. So that might be where I go wrong as far as my predictions go, as far as the bigger matches go. But I'm going to say ZSJ for the win there. Danielson puts him over. Next match of the night, and I'm going to minimize my list here so I'm not doing this all the way down at the very bottom of the screen, which makes it it's absolutely ridiculous when I've got this full notepad thing open and try to do the throwdown with all the topics and stuff like that. So anyways, yeah, I'm rambling. Where am I here? 2-on-1 match for the ROH World Tag Team Championship. This is MJF as champ. So if anybody's seen that promo on Dynamite, basically he Adam Cole is ready to relinquish and crown new champion, so to speak. And MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, says, no, I'm not going to do it. We're going to do this. You can be in my corner. You can be on my side. You can watch from home, whatever the case may be. But he's going to do it on his own. So he's got that kangaroo kick, which will be interesting to see whether or not it comes out tonight. But MJF as ROH World Tag Team Champions, taking on the Righteous. And the Righteous is Vincent and Dutch. And with the way Tony Khan has gotten behind the Righteous, so to speak, in ROH, and Vincent just he's a good, talented wrestler when you actually watch him wrestle. And you've got Dutch in his corner as well. So with that being said, I know it was a huge moment, MJF, Adam Cole winning those titles over there in England. But the fact is they need good, solid champions, especially if they're doing final Righteous for the wins for the wins, Righteous for the win in this one here. So MJF loses, the titles, sets up a storyline feud, so to speak. Adam Cole, MJF, if MJF's still champion between the two of these guys, because basically Cole could turn heel, align himself with Roderick Strong, and it sets up a feud there because basically MJF lost those titles, even though Adam Cole's hurt, but it made for a good storyline there. Speaking of storylines, I think I'd seen on AEW, their official website today, Julia Hart is 28-0 or 29-0 in her last 28-29 matches. And I know Tony Khan had mentioned this on the press call that he had done this past week. But when you look at the list of names of the people that she's beaten, and then I believe she went back to back. So Rampage, I believe she was on, and that she was Collision last night as well. And she's grown quite a bit. And, the fact is, when it comes down to it, why not have Chris Statlander? So anyway, AEW TBS Championship match, Chris Statlander is champ, taking on Julia Hart with Brody King in her corner. Do they pull the trigger and let Julia Hart win in this? Or do they give her a taste of a loss? Chris Statlander, because of the injury that she had and the way that she came back and who she beat to win that title with regards to Jade Cargill, yeah, don't take it off her yet. I understand Julia Hart, she's got this winning streak going on, and she's young and she doesn't have that same Jade Cargill feel, so to speak, as far as superstar goes. Jade had it. So, for Statlander to beat Jade and then lose to Julia, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to say Statlander for the win to retain the AEW TBS Championship tonight there. Where are we? 1, 2, 3. So 3 matches left, and they've already announced the main event. So AEW World Tag Team Championship match is up next. I always do this in order of what I think is important. I always say that. I got to stop saying that. FTR is champs, so Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood taking an Aussie Open, Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. If it was the ROH Tag Team Championships, I could see it. But with Aussie Open, see, it's the interesting part of it is this. You've got the alliance between Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. You've got Don Callis family being part of Will Ospreay's life. So, you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say Aussie Open win. So I just changed my mind as I'm doing this. So I'm going to say Aussie Open for the win in this one here. The reason for it, I'm going to say they are the newest members of the Don Callis family tonight. So I'm going to say screw job ending, of course. I'm going to say that. But I'm going to say FTR loses those titles. Aussie Open wins based on the fact that Aussie Open is now part of the Don Callis family before the night is through. So that's a bold prediction right there. So Aussie Open for the win. Second last match of the night. This is going to be one of those great matches. Of course, Eddie Kingston. So, not so much first, and I'll go into the details. So, ROH World Championship, as well as the New Japan Strong Open Weight Championship match. Eddie Kingston is champion, taking on Katsuyori Shibata. Again, slow down. I can pronounce it properly. Huge win with regards to Eddie Kingston, but he's injured. And how injured is he? He's canceled all his independent bookings. Dream come true to win that ROH World Championship. But with the injury that he has, and they're not saying too much about it, it's out there. The reports are out there, everything else. But I hate saying this, but ROH World Championship that he won, huge moment, proud moment for him to win in New York. But based on the reports and based on the fact that Shibata is strong for ROH and a huge part of that roster, and the injuries that he had back in the day, and Tony Khan being a huge fan of Shibata, I got to say Shibata with the win in this one. It's going to suck seeing Kingston lose the ROH World Championship tonight, as well as the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. But based on the reports, it's Tony Khan's going to do the right thing. And like I say, he is a fan of Shibata as a wrestling fan, not just an owner. But I got to say Katsuyori Shibata for the win in this one to take both titles. And it's going to suck because, Eddie Kingston, it's amazing to see the chance, obviously the tribute chance to Eddie Guerrero, but because he's Eddie Kingston and he's hardcore and he's badass as well. It's like I said, it's going to suck to see him lose tonight, but Shibata for the win. Last match of the night, the main event, guys, in Seattle, 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW TNT Championship. We got Christian Cage as champion. Not sure if he's going to be with Luchasaurus. It depends on what happens in that first match. Depends on how that plays out. Like I said, fantasy booker storyline, whatever the case may be. Christian Cage has champion, maybe with or without Luchasaurus, taking on the one and only Darby Allin there in Seattle. So I think it explains for itself. So 2 out of 3 falls match. Each guy takes a fall. I'm going to say Christian takes the first. Looks like he's maybe going to be strong and takes the second, but he doesn't. Darby, somehow pulls out the win for the second fall there. Third fall, I think Luchasaurus gets involved, helps out Darby Allin. That is the end of the alliance between Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. I think that's the big picture in the main event there. Darby Allin wins back that TNT Championship. I think it's his third run. I think first time in history, in AEW history, that's been done. But he does it in Seattle. That is the most important thing. Darby does it in front of his hometown fans with Nick Wayne present there as well. So I'm going to say Luchasaurus turns on Christian Cage, costs him the championship. Darby goes out as champion. That's the way the night ends. And that is it, guys. Those are my 14 predictions. And I'm not going to comment on Tony. You know what? I say I will. I'll make a 15th unprecedented prediction. I'm going to say Tony Khan's announcement with regards to end of an era, new era taking place tonight. I'm going to say that AEW has set up somehow their own streaming service. I'm going to say much similar to WB Network, similar to Honor Club, similar to Peacock. I'm going to say AEW, that is the announcement by Tony Khan that basically they've set up a streaming service, whether it not be with Max or whatever the case may be. But Max is HBO, by the way. But I'm going to say that is the announcement by Tony Khan that basically they're going on their own streaming service, much like WWE and much like ROH. So it'll be interesting. It's you got 14 matches at hand, but I know a lot of people looking forward to that, or not so much looking forward to that announcement by Tony Khan, because it could go the other way. No more ROH, or all of a sudden Tony Khan has purchased New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm not going to like. But anyway, guys, WrestleDream taking place live tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Bleacher Report Fight pay-per-view in YouTube, 0 hour taking place 7 o'clock tonight. Bleacher Report Fight pay-per-view YouTube as well. I don't know if they're on Facebook or X. I know YouTube for sure, because they've already got the video set up. So Climate Pledge Arena, Seattle, Washington. Quick rundown once again. I'm going to say Casanoli for the win, Nick Wayne for the win. We got where are we here? Billy Starks, Keith Lee, Satoshi Kojima, and Athena for the win in their match there. The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass retain, and then we go to the main card. So that was all in 0 hour. Main card, Ricky Starks for the win. I've got Swerve Strickland for the win. Prince Nana dances. We've got the Don Callis family for the win there. So that's Takeshita, Guevara, and Ospreay. Four-way tag team champions, not tag team championship match, four-way tag team match. Winners get a future shot at the tag team championships. I'm going to say the Guns win there. Dream match of the night, I'm going to say the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, loses to ZSJ. Title is not on the line in that one. Next match, 2-on-1 match for the ROH World Tag Team Championship. Vincent and Dutch, new champions. The Righteous take it there. Statlander defeats Julia Hart. FTR loses to Aussie Open. Aussie Open decides to join the Don Callis family. Eddie Kingston loses to Shibata. It's going to suck, but it's going to happen. And then in the main event, Darby Allin takes the TNT Championship away from Christian Cage with the help of Luchasaurus. Those are my predictions there, guys. So I got through it. 26 minutes, quite a long time for the prediction show. But guys, it's like I said, sucky news at the beginning, with regards to, like I said, Tim Wakefield, passing away at the age of 57 years old. Found that out right before I went on the air. And then, of course, the 1-year anniversary of Antonio Inoki, and what he meant to wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, when you think about it this way, you think I was about the age of 3 when I got into wrestling. So that was 44 years ago. And that, the magazine that showed everybody that there was, it's 1974. So he was a big part of the wrestling industry from that point all the way through to his passing, what he meant to the industry. So again, props to Tony Khan for doing what he's doing tonight with WrestleDream. It's going to be interesting as far as the buy rates go, because, NFL football on all day today. My Pats playing in 45 minutes, by the way, against Dallas. So that'll be interesting there. They are 1-2 right now. So I'm hoping they can balance things out, be 2-2, but to go down to Dallas and beat Dallas in Dallas is going to be hard. But as far as everything else goes, the Throwdown Chris Maloney episode number 5 should take place this week. We got CWN Predicts coming up next weekend with regards to WWE Fastlane, so that'll be next Saturday, as well as next Saturday. As I'm watching the pay-per-view, the PLE, so to speak, you'll see me writing for the Observer. So I'm doing the recap for the show on WrestlingObserver.com, so you can check that out next Saturday as well. But like wrestling, lots and lots and lots of wrestling taking place. And it'll be interesting to see the announcement by Tony Khan, because one of the other things that was discussed was whether or not he's going to go with 12 pay-per-views a year. And you think of everything he's doing ROH, the tie-ins to the New Japan Pro Wrestling with regards to like Forbidden Door and stuff like that, and that might be the announcement as well, is all of a sudden New Era means, pay-per-views every single month. So we'll have to wait and see there, guys. But it's been great. It's been fun as always. Again, thoughts, prayers, and strengths with the family, friends, and fans of Tim Wakefield, and obviously Antonio Inoki 1 year ago today. But guys, that is it for the show. Hug your loved ones, and don't take life for granted. And and enjoy wrestling. Yeah, enjoy wrestling. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Subscribe, like, all that jazz, and I will talk to everybody again sometime soon.